Hey everyone, welcome back to Let's Code to be a Java Programmer. Today is day 24 of our coding journey. In today's session, we'll explore jagged arrays and 3D arrays in Java. These concepts will help you work with more complex data structures. Let's dive in. Okay, so today we are going to have a look at jagged arrays. Now, what is jagged arrays usually are? So till now, yesterday we have seen about multidimensional arrays, right? Where we had I and j, where the number of rows and where the number of columns for all the different arrays inside the arrays were same. Now for this array number 0, the first row has 4 columns, means even the second one was having the 4 columns, and the third one also has the 4 columns, and this homogeneity continues. But what if in first row I have 4 columns, and second row I had only 2, and in third row I had 5 or 3, and that is basically called as jagged arrays. Now let me show you how it is. Okay, so this is how, let's say our first row has 3, let it be 4 itself, and second row has only 2, and third row has 2, and second row, let it be like this. Okay, so what if it has a different number of columns? So this is basically known as jagged array. Okay, so now let's see how we are going to implement this jagged array here. So here we will not be specifying the number of columns, and we will be keeping it as empty. Okay, and what we will be doing is we will be fixing the value like this. Num of 0 is equal to int of 4 we have given, right? So it will be as 4. Okay, so the first row will have 4 columns. That's the meaning of this. Num 1 will have int of 3 we have given, right? Int num of 2 will have int of 2. Okay, let it be 2. So this is how it will be. Now for this, how we can, okay, let me, okay, let me keep this like this for some while. So this is how we will be assigning the number of values. Now how we can print the values? So as usual, the for loop, nested for loop, int, since in, let it be, now after assigning the number of columns, let's print the values. So as usual I will be 0, and we'll keep the I length as num dot length. So this num dot length will fetch the length of the uh, rows basically. Okay, and of course this will get incremented, and inside this for loop we'll be having another for loop where j. Now what will be the length? So since it is changing the num of I, its length we will be determining. So if it is num of 0, sorry, I have to put here I. If it is num of 0, then its length will be 4. Then the iteration will be going for 4 values. So this is how it works. Let's print. Print. Then 2, 10. Let's put this inside. Okay. Okay, now. Okay, I hope this works now. Let's check it out. Don't forget the syntax. Okay. Control S. Why it is not multiplied by 10? I think the math.random function is called first, and that's the problem. Okay, so since it gives only decimal values, and that's why we have the output, but it's okay, it's fine. As we mentioned here, we have in the first row we have 4 different values, in the second row we have 3, and in the third row we have 2. Okay, so now let's use this. Okay, now let's try with this enhanced loop. Also, since mac.random of gives double values, let's convert them to int by typecasting method. Okay, I hope this gives us only integers. Compile 3019999246. Okay, now this is the result of the first for loop, and this is the result of the second for loop. Now let me just remove this one. Since it's calling the random again here one more time, it is printing another set of values. You know what's the good thing about the enhanced for loop? You don't need to specify the values, okay? So it automatically just fixes according to the array. We haven't mentioned here what n is. but it has automatically taken what is the number of rows and what is the number of columns here according to the values what we have mentioned. But what if we have used the normal for loop? We have to be specifying it with each and every, like by specifying its length, right? So that's what. So this is how we be using the jagged arrays. Now also there is something called as 3D array. Now what is this 3D? It's nothing but uh let's take the same example of array. I'm having a box. Okay, so if I have like this, it is known as a 2D multi-dimensional box where I'll be having the rows and columns. But what if I have an array inside another array? Already this is an array, and inside this array I have this array. What if I have another array inside this? Okay, so let it be 5, 6, 7. Now, what will be the position or index position of this value 5? So what it would be is, it is in the 0th row, so 0 comma 0th column, so 0 comma 0 comma, and it's in the first position of the index, so it is 0 comma 0 comma 0. Now what would be the index value of 6? 0 comma 0 comma 1. So this is how the index will be used. Now let's try it out in Java program. It's the syntax is very easy since it is consists of three, the number of rows, columns, and the inner. Since it's 3D arrays, you have to specify. Okay. Now, after assigning the for loop, cannot be done using for 3D arrays, so we can just take this off. Let's try the 3D arrays using the normal for loop condition. So here extra another variable we'll be adding than the usual I and j because we have the third dimension. You can have the length I plus plus int j equal to 0. J will be the length of num of I. So this will be the length of this one. Okay, must be I g dot length. Okay, so inside this we will be writing the condition. Here I forgot to put the length dot length. Okay, now let's put print as system out dot print. let's typecast it. Okay, now let's run this 3D array. Okay, it must have some space in between. Control S, it will print the space, and let's try it out now. Yes, so this is how the k value will be here. Let's print these also in the same line. Let's put the I in the next line. Yes, so this is perfect. 3 rows, 3 columns, and the fourth is the third dimension. That's all for day 24. Today we learned about jagged arrays and 3D arrays in Java. These concepts are useful for working with more complex and structured data. Thank you for joining me on day 24 of Let's Go to be a Java Programmer. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get notified about our daily coding sessions. See you tomorrow for day 25. Happy coding!